Some stories feel like they're straight out of a storybook. Well, today we're going to tell one that's exactly that. And it's all true. It's about a prince, a twist of fate, and how losing half his sight actually gave him a vision that would change everything for a whole nation. So let's just start with the big question, the one that seems, well, almost impossible to answer. How can you possibly lead a nation's dreams, especially in a sport that demands perfect vision, with only one eye? Seriously, think about it. How does a man who suffers a career-ending injury not just come back, but develop a focus so sharp it changes the game forever? We're going to find out. All right, let's start at the beginning. Chapter 1, A Prince of Cricket, The Golden Beginning. See, every great story starts with a hero and their world, right? Well, for our hero, Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi, his ordinary world was anything but. We're talking royalty and just massive promise. I mean, look at this. His path was basically paved with gold. Born into royalty, he becomes a Nawab, that's a ruler, at just 11. Then he goes off to these top-tier schools in England, and he's not just some privileged kid. No, he's a prodigy. He's out there breaking batting records that had stood for a century. The guy was destined for greatness, and his moves on the field, so quick, so sharp, they started calling him Tiger. Okay, now for Chapter 2, A Shattered Vision, The Day the World Went Dark. You know how it goes in these stories, right? Just when everything seems perfect, fate throws a massive curveball. The hero's journey is about to hit a wall, a crisis that will change absolutely everything. July 1st, 1961. Put a pin in that date, because on a summer day in Brighton, England, a car crash happened. And this wasn't just some accident that injured a rising star. No, this was an event that threatened to snuff out his entire future. Just gone. And the result? Just devastating. A piece of glass from the windshield permanently damaged his right eye. And the result of that? Double vision. Now, for you or me, that's disorienting. For a cricketer, a guy who has to hit a little red ball rocketing towards him at over 90 miles an hour, seeing two of them? That's not a handicap. That's game over. It's supposed to be impossible. And well, the experts, they all agreed. The doctor's verdict was blunt. It was final. His playing days are over. Just like that. The career he was literally born for, done. Over before it really even got started. But here, this is where the story shifts. This is where the fable becomes a legend. Chapter 3, The One-Eyed King, A Legend Reborn. Most people would have just accepted it, right? But this prince, he was built different. This wasn't the end. This was the beginning of his real test. The moment a prince becomes a king. Okay, but let's be real for a second. This is the part that just doesn't make any sense. And maybe you're thinking it right now too. Come on, how? How can you possibly hit a tiny speeding ball when you see two of them? How do you even begin to train your brain for something like that? It sounds like a magic trick, not a sport. So when people asked him, how in the world are you doing this? His answer was just brilliant. So simple, kind of witty, and honestly, pretty profound. He just said, I see two balls, I just try to hit the one on the inside. Think about that. He didn't fix his eyesight, he rewired his brain. Through pure willpower, he taught himself to pick one of those two images and just go for it. He found a solution where everyone else just saw a dead end. And get this, just 5 months after the accident that was supposed to end his career, he was back on the field playing at the highest level. And then at just 21 years old, 21, he becomes the youngest captain in the entire history of Test cricket. A record, by the way, that stood for 42 years. It's just unbelievable. But wait, simply coming back, that's not the end of the story. Not even close. Stick with me here, because what he did next, how he used this unique perspective to build a whole new era for Indian cricket, well, that's where the legend is truly made. And if you're thinking, okay, maybe they just made him captain as a nice story, well, look at the numbers. They prove he wasn't just some mascot. He played 46 test matches, captained in 40 of them, scored almost 3,000 runs, including a massive 203 not out. With one eye, he wasn't just getting by, he was thriving. He was a force. So, next up, forging a new India, a vision for a nation. Because as amazing as his comeback was, his biggest impact, his real legacy, it wasn't about the runs he scored. It was about how he turned his own broken sight into an unbreakable vision for his country. See, you have to understand, before he came along, the Indian team was often kind of fractured. It was a bunch of guys from different states with different rivalries and loyalties. Pataudi walked in and changed all that with one simple, powerful idea. He told them flat out, you're not playing for your state. You're playing for India. He made them see themselves as one, a single team. And he had a plan, a blueprint for how to win. It was actually pretty simple. First, that unity we just talked about. One team, one goal. Second, he looked at his players and said, okay, our strength isn't what everyone else is doing. It's not fast bowling, it's spin. So he built his entire game plan around that unique strength. And third, he totally revolutionized their fielding, leading from the front with his own insane athleticism. And that strategy, that focus on spin, oh, it paid off big time. He nurtured these four guys, Bishan Singh Bedi, Irapalli Prasanna, Bhagawat Chandrasekhar, and Srinivas Venkataragavan. They became known as the Spin Quartet. And they were legendary, an absolute weapon that he built. And they became the heart and soul of India's success for years to come. So we come to the final chapter, the Tiger's legacy. And it's about so much more than a game. What he left behind, what this one-eyed king really built, it stretches way, way beyond the cricket field. I mean, his life off the field was like something out of a movie. In 1968, he marries Sharmila Tagore, who was one of the biggest Bollywood stars in the country. Can you imagine? It was this incredible union of royalty, sports, and cinema. The whole country was captivated. It cemented him as more than a captain. He was a cultural icon. And that brings us right back to where we started. Back to that impossible question. How did he do it? And the answer, when you think about it, is just beautiful in its irony. His physical vision was impaired. He saw two balls. But his leadership vision, that was unparalleled. He saw one India. By losing his depth perception on the field, he somehow gained a depth of vision for his nation that no one else had. When you boil it all down, his real legacy isn't in the record books or the scorecards. It's in something much deeper, belief. He took a team and really a young nation that didn't quite know how to win yet, and he showed them the way. The one-eyed tiger taught India how to fight and how to win. And there you have it, the incredible and very true fable of the one-eyed tiger. Thank you so much for coming along for this story. If you're looking for more tales of amazing vision and leadership, we'd love for you to come back and see us here at King's Academy. But before you click away, I have a question for you. What part of this story really hit home? Was it his incredible resilience, his genius as a leader, or that powerful vision he had for his country? Let us know down in the comments. We read every single one and we'll be sure to reply.